So, John, first of all, appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to jump on the Pierce podcast here at FDIC 2024.
Yeah.
I understand you've been coming to FDIC for quite a while. Can you talk me through what that's like?
Sure. Yeah. Someone asked me that earlier today in terms of how long you've been coming here, and it just had to kind of think through it. And 2007, I think, was actually my first year.
Was that the
here.
PUC?
It was. It was the year that we launched the PUC, and I'd been with Pierce a few years, not a lot, but just incredible experience, and just it really got me hooked. You know, when you're newer in your career, and just starting to get things rolling, and then you're able to come down and kind of be a part of that. It was just a really fun time, and just. But yeah, it's hard to think about that. It's several thousand pucks later, and 17 years, and here we are.
And you've played so many roles, like in terms of FDIC. I remember the first year I went was 2012, and in that year we were both on the advanced team together. So I got to drive the van behind the famous John Schultz, make sure you had water and everything like that, and the ice stayed cold, or the cooler stayed cold and iced down and things like that.
Yeah, that was a big part of being able to go to FDIC, was just to be able to get your a CDL and do those kind of things. That it was just. I remember trying to get all that done ahead of time. But just whether was driving trucks or just the relationships that you meet in the booth that week. It's those cohorts ultimately just become like the band of brothers and sisters kind of thing. It's just a fun.
It really is
fun overall experience.
And when they do that, and you set up. It's like that year. It's almost, I don't want to say like fraternity sorority sort of thing, but it's like a graduating class.
It is.
Like, oh yeah, you remember the team that came down in 12 and they did this. The team that came down in 20 then did that, or whatever the case was.
Pretty neat.
It is.
It's an awesome event every year.
Yeah. So now ahead of pumpers. Can you talk me through a little bit about what that's like coming to FDIC in that role? Yeah,
it's just it's way different, right? You walk the floor, and what you're looking at has definitely changed over the years, and just ultimately, I view my role. I want to really be a great steward to our customers, our business, and make sure that ultimately the products that we produce, the level of quality that we produce them at, is ultimately best positioned in the market. So it's a humbling experience to be a part of, and just we've got a great team, as you know, both in our dealer network as well as back at the factory in Appleton and down in Bradenton. It's just super fun to be a part of, and just feel very, very blessed, and it's kind of like. It's just awesome. It really is. And
someone asked me the other day, they said, do you ever get tired of FDIC? And I'm like, no. Every year, and I said, if I ever get tired, I got to do something different.
Yeah.
It's just exciting. You kind of catch the bug.
It's one of those, you start to look forward to it, and just like the events, and you start thinking about some of those previous years and those experiences, and it's pretty cool. It really is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you talked a little bit about being a steward to the customer, and that part of your role. I understand this traffic regulator came straight from, I don't think it was this trade show. I think it may have been FRI.
I think it was an FRI show, yeah.
Can you walk me through how that came about?
Yeah, we really started to, got down the topic of ultimately safety of firefighters on busy interstates.
Sure.
And obviously there's a lot of development that continues to happen in that space, and as it needs to. And one of the quicker wins that we were able to do, and we have showcased here today, is a folding message board at the back of the truck. It's pretty simple. It deploys with like an iPad kind of thing. You can quickly put different sort of messages on there, and really just trying to give the first responders on those interstates that leg up, and just hopefully that extra ounce of communication. So here again, just a fun group to be around, great to do input, even better to actually do something about it and be able to show something. So
that's got to be so rewarding to be able to literally take a conversation less than a year ago and turn it into something. The following national show.
It's fun to be able to spread that why with the team and get them excited about it, and just watch what they can come up with, and just the ingenuity and the creativity that they have. It's just pretty cool to be a part of.
That's awesome. Well, so tell me a little bit more about some of the other products in here. I know we got a load of pumpers in the booth.
Yeah, we it's just a lot of different variety for us this year, and just whether it's a pumper that has all steer for enhanced maneuverability, to we have some idle reduction technology that we're featuring on one of our trucks. Various storage options. So, storage on a pumper is one of the key elements that you have to walk through with customers. So we've been able to develop some enhanced transverse storage options that typically you'd see on a rescue type of application. We've been able to ultimately put them on a pumper, so just something a little bit different there. We also have been able to develop a new kind of extreme duty HVAC systems. So here again, partnering with some customers down in the Southwest. It's really super hot down there, and trying to make sure that they can stay cool, and working hand in hand with them, and the team working with them to develop some performance that we've never previously had.
Sure.
So that's been a really cool project to watch come to fruition. We got some new lighting on pumpers, so working with Sam and the High-Vis team on as they've brought some different warning lights to market, being able to work with our command zone multiplexing system, and really take what is as a pain point, or maybe limits some of that variability for the customer, really to be able to embed that into the command zone control system, and allow for more flexibility and just capability. Has been a fun project that we have here that we're demonstrating. And then finally, Volterra is just continues to be just it's a huge project, and just a huge investment, but just it's fun to be able to bring not only the demo that I'm super excited to have, but then also some of the major components of Volterra, and just continue to work with chiefs and departments on breaking down, what is EV mean in the fire service, and how can we help educate, whether it's planning for a new fire station, or how am I going to work on and service these trucks. And so we've got a full spread that the team has been excited to share with everyone here at FDIC. So it's been really fun. It's just it's a huge breadth of product, and it just I'd be remiss. We've got an indie pumper, so Chief Malone and his team, just great host.
They took you around
FDIC.
this week, didn't they?
They did, yeah. So we got the opportunity to go out, see a couple of their stations. They were gracious enough to spend the time with our team, and just provide some feedback in terms of, how are we doing? How can we continue to do, a little bit better? So just great time. So we have one of their trucks here, as well as a unit that for Omaha that we just delivered a Nebraska customer. So that's just cool breadth, a lot of stuff going on. So it's great.
It's especially neat when you see that, and you see the customers so excited to get to showcase. That here. One other question for you. You mentioned the EV activity going on, obviously around our Volterra. I understand there was some kind of a breakout class or something that took place. Or a panel. Yeah,
there was a panel this week. It was part of FEMA, so our local trade association, if you will. Different chiefs from around the country that are either have EVs on order, or ultimately have them in their station. It was all 3 brands that are mass available. Just really interesting to hear the perspective of the different chiefs, how they plan. Probably one of the bigger takeaways for me was just around that importance of standardization. I think that they really hit home for me as they talk through some of that, and it makes me feel proud of the path that we're on with the team, and what we've done with our Volterra, and continue to work with them to try to meet their needs as they're working through various sustainability initiatives within their communities. So it's been cool.
Awesome. That's super cool. Well, John, thanks a ton. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's fun to be sitting here on a podcast with you. You think about, I get to wash trucks with you about a decade or so ago at these events, and that was the way we earned our way in.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Seriously appreciate you taking the time to do this. I'll let you get back to all these customers and dealers and everything else, but thanks for joining the Pierce Dispatch.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.
Yep.
So, Bill Proft, welcome to the Dispatch. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes out of your schedule here at FDIC 2024 to share your knowledge with the world on our podcast. Bill, tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Pierce and your role.
Okay, well, thank you, Dan. I've been with Pierce for 32 years now. Almost all of that time has been with heavy rescues. And other than a short stint doing approval drawings at the beginning, and another short stint with leading part of different engineering teams, it's all been with rescues.
Sure.
And so right now I'm the business unit director for rescue products at Pierce. So I lead the team that essentially designs and builds all of our rescue products at Pierce.
That's all. Tell me a little bit about, there is a rescue on the floor right now that is absolutely a revolving door of people going around it right now. Certainly going to be the talk of the show, I'm sure. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Sure. So it's one of the biggest ones we've done as far as length is concerned. It's for Walkersville, Maryland. Their call volume is relatively low, but they are a pretty sophisticated rescue team. And they've been working with us for several years to put this truck together. Interestingly enough, about 21 years ago, we built a big rescue for them. Similar in size, not quite as big, but a big white tandem axle unit. This time around, they added a lot more features than what they had on that initial truck. So this is a Velocity chassis. The first thing you're going to notice about the overall truck is the color scheme.
Yeah.
So it's blue and white, and they're metallic types of paint. And there's blue striping on it, and there's a large lion on each side on the second door back on each side of the body. And the lion is holding Amcus hydraulic rescue tools, which is what they use. Yeah, it's aggressive. And across the front of the truck, it says Walkersville Pride. Okay, so they're very proud of their team and of their truck, but a pride is also a group of lions, so that's why the lion is on the truck.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, along with the tools. So to get into the details of the truck, again, a Velocity cabin chassis. It's our 84-inch cab, so it's the biggest one, the largest one that we build. Has the 20-inch raised roof on it. You'll notice right away there's 2 roto rays on the front. And the chief is big with the roto rays because he flies on flight teams that rescue people.
Okay.
And one of the stories he told us was he was on a call one time. He's in a helicopter going to a scene to pick up somebody to transport to the hospital, and he saw these rotating lights on the scene, and he asked what those were, and they were roto rays. He could see them from 3 miles out.
Oh, wow.
So he was enamored with those, and they're now on the truck.
Sure.
There's a 16,000-pound winch mounted in the front bumper. The truck also has TAC4 independent front suspension on it. It has our T3 rear suspension with rear steer. So it's a pretty well-loaded chassis.
Yeah.
605 horsepower Cummins engine on it and the 4000 series transmission. But getting into the body details, 2 light towers, okay? So one is actually on the cab roof, and there's another one that's in the passenger side rear compartment of the truck. Okay, so there's plenty of lighting on the truck. And then when you look at just the sides, the warning lights and the other scene lights, we have lights above and below the awnings. And I'm saying awnings because there's not just one on each side, there are 2. And that's due to the fact that the truck is long enough that we couldn't get the manufacturer to make one that would fit the length of the truck.
That's awesome. Making it work, Bill.
Making it work. So we have 4 awnings on that truck. We also have rope eyes. So we have 9,000-pound rope eyes in each of the 4 corners on the body roof. And then we have swivel eyes mounted to the side sheet. And those are each rated at 3,000 pounds because of the capability of those devices. Okay? So some of the other cool things on it, 250-gallon per minute water pump, 300-gallon water tank with a 20-gallon foam cell.
Yeah.
Then there's a 25-gallon small, I'll say, utility rinse water tank.
Okay.
And so it has an inline water heater in it, so when they want to do quick decon or quick wash down on a scene, they can turn that system on and rinse themselves off with lukewarm water, if you will. Okay. There's a booster hose reel. There's a cross lay for the water pump, and then a lot of different shelves and trays on the truck. A breathing air refill system. So we have 6 bottles on there. We have an air control panel, refill station, and also a booster pump. So they maximize the refill capabilities out of their system. Interesting to note, if you look at the driver's side rear of the truck, you'll see a yellow hose. And a lot of people are asking, what is that? Okay, and it's actually a vacuum unit to refill the oil dry hopper in the top of the truck.
Sure.
So rather than carrying bags to the top, you can take your 50-pound bag of oil dry, open it up on the ground, turn the vacuum on, and it will draw it up into the top.
No kidding.
Yep. And then it has a separate discharge to dispense the material when you want to use it.
What did they not think of? I feel like you just described 3 different trucks. You're talking about the same one the entire time.
Right. It's almost like we put together a truck with every option that we could do on a rescue, and it's a great selling tool.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, to get to do that, that's so cool that they let us bring it here. And it was neat watching that department here, like at the beginning of the show, and how excited they were to do that and to walk everybody through. It's awesome. Yeah. So did you work on the first one when you said that they did the one 20-some years ago?
I did.
Yeah, and they get to come back and do the second one for me, to be trusted with that as a manufacturer and certainly as a partner on that. And then they hit that thing out of the park. It has just been so cool watching people's just jaws drop. I saw a little kid looking at it and checking out the those Velocity stairs on it and all of that. Right. It was pretty neat seen him look at it. And you talk about 20 years, he may be 20 years from now, you think about that, he may be
Right.
the one laying a truck out or
He
whatever
might
the
be.
case is, and that was neat to get to see.
Yeah, it's great to have repeat customers that
Yeah.
they put enough trust and confidence in what we do, and had enough success with our earlier vehicles to say, yeah, we're going to buy another one from Pierce.
Yeah.
And it makes me really proud of my team and everything they're able to do, because not everybody and anybody can just sit down and throw together a
Sure.
truck that looks like that. It takes a lot of planning and preparation.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Well, Bill, thanks a ton for taking some time today to jump on the dispatch. I'm going to let you get back after it. I'm sure you got a bunch more questions to answer over there. But again, thanks a ton for
Thank
doing
you.
this and just for bringing such an awesome unit to the show.
Thank you, Dan.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, so Shena, welcome to the Pierce Dispatch here at FDIC 2024.
Woohoo.
Can you talk a little bit about what you do here at Pierce and a little bit about your experience so far at FDIC?
Yeah, so I am Shena Straka. I am the aerial business unit leader. I have been with the organization about 17 years, and I'm excited to be back here at FDIC again this year. Lot of great foot traffic and a lot of great aerials here in the booth this year.
Yeah, what's the most common question you've got so far about the aerials in the booth?
A lot of discussion about maneuverability, I think, is
Sure.
probably kind of standing over by the tiller and the mid-mount tower over there. There's a lot of discussion going on in regards to the maneuverability.
That's awesome.
products.
Well, they're all over the place here. Those aerials are. It's fun seeing them up and out and about. Can you talk about some of the specifics on what aerials are here?
Yeah, so we have the 100-foot HSL unit that's over here. It's for Lowell Fire Department in Massachusetts.
Sure.
This is a no pump, no tank product. Another one that we have in the booth is the 107 Ascendant. Another product that we have in our booth today is 100-foot mid-mount tower for Lawrenceburg, Kentucky.
Sure.
And then we also have a 107-foot TDA for Jacksonville.
That's awesome. And what's
Yeah.
the HSL?
Heavy steel ladder.
Okay, very cool. Anything
Yes.
unique about that one?
It's a no pump, no tank. It's a sharp looking truck.
Okay.
They have a lot of compartmentation, transverse compartmentation that takes place
Sure.
based on the no pump, no tank. TAC 4 on that particular product as well. It's a sharp looking truck.
Cool. So not picking any favorites here, but which one would you say is getting the most foot traffic? A lot of people revolving around.
It's not that tough. A 100-foot mid-mount tower.
Yeah, that's the one, huh?
Yeah, they're all fantastic, but that particular product definitely has got a lot of foot traffic and a lot of conversation.
Sure, and there's something unique about the pump on that one, is that right?
Yeah, so it is showcasing a new ESU1 pump from Waterous. That particular pump is a 2,000 GPM, kind of a smaller, compact pump than their previous one, the S100, and the low decibel noise is really a big feature of that, and that's over in their booth as well.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So what would you say your favorite part of being at FDIC is?
The customers.
Yeah.
It really is. It's great to have an opportunity to connect with so many customers across really the world and get an opportunity to talk about our products and showcase different things, and then really understand, get feedback and understand, what they love or, what we can work on. So.
Yeah. So with your new role, this is the first time being here at FDIC with being the aerial leader. What's that like? I mean, are you getting pulled in all different kinds of directions? I know I saw you walking around with media and doing this and doing that and customers and dealers and all of that kind of stuff. Walk me through what that's like.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely a different lens. Something I got to break out of my inner shell to feel comfortable with. But yeah, it's great. It's definitely a different look, and different conversations are taking place than I'm used to. Obviously, it was always about different products and meeting with different customers, but really the heavy focus on the aerial products is exciting. So.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for taking a couple minutes to catch up on the dispatch. I'll let you get back to all the customers and dealers and things like that. And again, thanks a ton for being on the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Dan.
You bet. All right, well, welcome to the dispatch. We have David Kay here. David is our Senior Chief Electrical Engineer. Do I have that right?
Senior Chief Engineer of Electrification.
See,
That's
so I
different.
got close, and that's why I'm not an engineer, David. But at any rate, thanks a ton for...
We always say things very accurately and precisely. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yes,
So.
I have noticed that. Right. You can tell that I need like a translation anytime that you guys are doing a presentation. But you're here and you're really representing the Volterra product, it seems like. It seems like you've been glued to that thing throughout this, getting a lot of questions from different people. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience promoting the Volterra here at FDIC?
Oh, it's been great. A lot of questions, and those questions are all over the place. We have some questions that are really well informed, like people that understand electrification, electric vehicles, and then have been exposed to that, and those that are kind of amazed that this thing's actually sitting in front of them. So
Sure.
it's fun to answer all those questions.
Sure. What's the most common question you'd say you've gotten about the Volterra?
Where are the batteries?
Okay.
Is there an engine
Sure.
in the vehicle? Things like that.
Sure. So where are the batteries in the Volterra?
They are mounted right behind the cab.
Okay.
We like the fact that it doesn't look a lot different than our conventional apparatus. We really worked hard to achieve that, but we do that's the most unique identifying characteristic is right behind the cab. There's a vertical, I guess it looks like a tower.
Sure.
And that's where the batteries are housed on the vehicle.
Sure. And then you said the other question is there an engine? So how do you answer that question?
So I think the way I like to approach that one is, we have that engine there as a security blanket for our customers. They're running around all electric almost all the time. But if they're on a really evolved event or they have a progression of call volume that really draws down the state of charge of the battery, that engine's there to back them up. And they don't have to think about that. It'll just automatically and smoothly transfer power to the combustion engine and keep the operation going uninterrupted.
Yeah. Is it kind of unique demonstrating that in a trade show environment where I know I've seen you do some of the demonstrations live to customers and you can actually show where that flow doesn't break. Is it tough doing that in a trade show and walking through it? Or are you able to kind of articulate that, I suppose, to customers?
I guess you'd have to ask the customers if they walked away with a better understanding than they arrived with. But no, I think it is a bit challenging. It gets a bit technical, but we try to simplify that and make it understandable. So it's as simple as my battery's low, now I'm going to automatically start this engine.
Sure.
And now that engine's going to just start operating and keep the operation going. I mean, I try to get to that level of understanding, and then they sort of might, explain that to me a little more. Okay,
sure.
We'll dig into the next layer of the onion and see
Yeah.
see where that leads us.
And I saw you had some demonstrating props, if you will, there. I saw you had the EM-IVT and some other things that were there as well. Can you walk through what those were?
Yep. So when you walk in through the Volterra banner, on the left is all of our core technology. So really, what makes the Volterra tick? What differentiates that product? Those components are on that side of the walkway. So
Okay.
On the left side of the walkway, on the other side of the Volterra. And then if we went around to the other side of the truck, we had some more just some components to say, we know what combustion vehicles look like, we know what the engines look like. Here's some components under the hood of an electric vehicle and
Sure.
what they look like. So just, it can touch and feel, which we thought was kind of a neat opportunity
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
customers.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I'm a learner that way too. People talk about do you want to see it? Do you want to feel it? Whatever the case is. And it's awesome that you're able to bring that to the floor. So one of the neat things too, obviously at FDIC, is not only talking to our customers and our dealers about the products we're offering, but also getting their feedback. What kind of feedback have you gotten thus far from the customers in the booth?
Customers that already have experienced the vehicle, that maybe they've been to one of our demonstration events, those customers that already are using the Volterra in frontline service today, it's a very different conversation with them than those that are maybe kicking the tires.
Sure.
Those folks, they're in the state of, Pierce, you got to prove to me that this is really a fire truck and it really does fire truck things, right?
Sure.
So that's the conversation. It's like that's what we're here to do, try to explain that, hey, we think we're putting something in that's going to just fit seamlessly into your fire department, and spend our time trying to explain that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times they kind of need to see it firsthand. So that's why we're looking forward to some more demonstration events and also a road tour coming up. I don't know if we're ready to talk about that yet,
absolutely. Yeah. I know they're working on dates and logistics behind it.
Yep.
That's going to be great. That'll be exciting.
The truck on the show floor is going to be coming to a location hopefully near our customers. Right?
That'll be great. That'll be exciting to get that feedback and really let people touch and feel and drive and understand what the Volterra is really all about and bring it to the market. So obviously I have the advantage that if I have a Volterra question, I can walk down the hall and ask the David K any questions that I have. If you had somebody that wants to learn a little bit more about electrification or wants to learn more specifically about the Volterra, where would you direct them?
To the Pierce website.
Oh, there you go. That's right. So Pierce website. Also, if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to your Pierce dealer. They'd be happy to answer those questions, and they can get you in contact with David and other members of his team if you get into those technical specifications and things of that nature. Well, David, thanks so much for taking some time. I know you're super busy. I can literally see customers zipping around the Volterra right now. So we'll let you get back at it, but thanks again for taking time to jump on the dispatch.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You bet.
Appreciate it.